Hey guys, Glenn here, and we're going to be looking at the first page of Clair de Lune. All right, so let's get straight into it. It's in the key of D flat. All right, we're just going to move that screen across. All right, here we go. We can see it's in D flat because we've got, I don't know if you can see that here. I'll just get my pointer ready. We've got five flats here, right? Now, if it's in a major key, now this changes when it's in a minor key, and if it's a minor key, you're looking for a bunch of accidentals, and usually the first chord and the last chord is going to make the difference, all right? So we've got an F and an A flat here. Note that it's in treble clef here and treble clef here. In both hands, it's treble clef to start with, all right? So, but you can see the second last flat is always the key it's in if it's a major key. If it's a minor key, that's a different story, but we'll talk about that another time. But for today, D flat is the key, which means there's 5 black notes. Now, there is only 5 black notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you're going to be playing all of the black notes, all right? Plus, we're going to be playing 2 white notes because in a normal scale, we've got 7 individual notes. Now, as you're learning this particular piece of music, it's a great idea to learn the scale. If you haven't learnt the scale already, sometimes it's even worth, just practicing that scale first. So D flat major is the scale. All right, that's what the fingering is for 2 hands there. Go through that another time. You can check that out on another video. All right, D flat major, 5 flats. And so we're going to start off here. Remember, it's treble clef here. Now, it's in 9/8, so that means 9 quavers or 9 eighth notes to a bar. And we've got what's called the compound triple. So it means it's compound dotted crotchets or dotted quarter notes, all right? So that means a 1.5 beat. What is normally considered to be 1.5 beats is considered to be just 1 beat. So you'll see it grouped into 3 different sections. So we see here we've got a quaver, an eighth note, and a quarter note here, a crotchet. They're grouped as 1, and then here we've got 2 lots of groupings here. Okay, so this is 1 note, of course, just being tied across. This is just how we're displaying that note, right? So, so here you can see 1, 2, 3 quavers make up our first compound beat, the dotted crotchet, okay? What would normally be considered to be 1.5 beat. That's 1 beat. Here's the second beat. Here's the third beat. All right. Now, when you're looking at the next bar, here's the first beat. Here's the second and the third bar. Second beat. Here's the first beat. Here is the second beat, and here's the third beat. Now, we've got duples here. Now, duples are the opposite of a triplet. So normally a triplet would be squeezing 3 notes into the space of what 2 notes would normally be. So if we're talking about a triplet quaver, 2 quavers would normally take up the space of 1 beat, okay? If we're talking about triplets, we're talking about these 3 notes fitting in equally to 1 beat. So here is just 4/4 rhythm. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to play the D flat major scale, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and all right, etc. Right? I'm playing normal quavers, all right, normal eighth notes, okay? But if it was a triplet, I would be fitting 3 into that same space. So here's my beat. Here's just the 1, 2, 3, 4, right? All right, so see how I fitted in 3 notes to every beat. Now, when we're talking about 3/8, the time signature of 3/8, 6/8, or 9/8, we're talking about that compound rhythm, right? Which is that 1.5 beats equals really 1 beat, right? So we're talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're kind of doing a triplet rhythm already, okay? Basically, it means most of the song has a triplety feel, all right? But occasionally we don't want to have that triplet feel, and that's where the duplets come into it, which is basically saying go back to kind of how you would normally play in 4/4 or 3/4 or 2/4, right? So So we've got triplety kind of feel here, triplety kind of feel, triplety feel. This is not the triplet feel. This is like we're just going to fit in those two notes into the one beat, and we're going to fit these two notes into the one beat. Of course, this is tied, so hopefully that makes sense. And then we're back to that triplety kind of feel here. Now, don't get too stressed out about that. This piece by Debussy, Clair de Lune, is not one of those pieces where you... I hesitate to say it, but the timing is not strict. I don't mean that the timing isn't strict, but there's a flow to it. All right, it's not a groove like a funky tune or something like that, or a I don't know, a whole bunch of different things it could be, right? But it's got that kind of gentle feel. All right, and it just kind of floats a little bit. So you kind of feel it a little bit more than you do count it once you know the song, right? So let me play this first line for you, and I might talk about some things along the way, but at least you'll get to see my hands. All right, my video camera's just paused. Let me just change that. 30 seconds. All right, we're back. All right, so... there's my hands again. Great. Okay, here we go. All right, so 1, 2, D, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, so there's the first line. Okay, so we've got the F, the D. It's kind of like a D flat chord at the start, right? But we're not playing the D flat. Okay. All right, we've got G flat and A natural. They're kind of squished in together there, right? But G flat and A natural. All right, now we've got that F and A flat in the left hand. Just tied the whole way. All right, so I don't think the left hand or the right hand are playing at the same time at all there. I mean, there's carried on notes, but there's, when the first thing happens. All right, hopefully that helps you there. Read the dots. Try and play it with reading, of course. Look, you can have a listen to it and make sure you're doing the right thing, and see how you go with that. All right, let's have a look at the next page. All right. So on the next line, I should say. What do we got? We've still got treble clef in the left hand until that last bar, where you'll notice there is here a bass clef here. So be aware of that. Lots of triplet kind of feel going on here as we go. All right. So we got it. Now that C at the beginning, that's tied from the bar before, right? So I'm not going to play that, right? Because I'm already playing it, right, from the bar before. Oops, let's do it again. All right, there's that line. Let's go to the next line there. Using a bit of pedal through here to hold those notes going on. All right, next line there. Actually, we want to just talk a little bit about that. So we're using the pedal there. Now, of course, you've got a low note here, and it kind of, we've got left hand, right hand, left hand. That's above this, right? Because there's a little treble clef here, and then we're going higher again. So it's the same notes. That's the F and the A flat every time. Okay, pretty much. Down to a G flat chord here. Think chords. Actually, G flat. It's actually an E flat minor, potentially with that E flat there, technically maybe, but it's still got. No, I'm going to go with G flat 6. All right. So think of G flat chord. You can see the G flat chord triad there. I've got that D flat down the bottom, right, which was part of what I started with. But if you think in chords, it'll be quicker. All right. Same way when we think in words, we don't think in, letters, all right? I mean, obviously the word think T-H-I-N-K, you know, is those 5 letters, but we just see that and we immediately, what comes to our mind is the word think, right? We don't just think about those individual letters, all right? So as you get more aware of how to read and, you know, think the patterns, but think the individual notes, but start to recognize, if you can. Every time you can recognize a chord or a shape, that's going to make it so much faster as you read, all right? So just encourage you to keep doing that. All right, I'm at bar, the last bar now of this. All right, all of this is a D flat chord, different shapes of the D flat chord. All right, let's have a look at the last one, back to the G flat. It's pretty much the same thing here. All right, we've got, now that's a C flat, all right, which is the note B, okay, just here. It's a C flat, which is the note B. Now you've got a bunch of octaves, so you want, when you've got the fingering for these octaves here, you want to be making sure that you don't stress out about every single fingering that's been written on the notation. And sometimes I ignore it, and sometimes I think it's just wrong, right? Sometimes it's good, you know, helpful. But I think if you're doing octave, 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 you want to be using your 4th and your 5th finger, all right? You'll get a little bit more legato feeling, you know, if you can do it. You can kind of almost cheat, you know, your thumb might come off, but the other, if I'm just, I'm saying just do a C major scale. You can kind of cheat. I'm not using the pedal here at all. You can hear that the thumb's coming off, right? But if I'm doing it this way, you're going to get a real staccato sound, right? You're not going to be able to get around that. But if you're using different fingers, you get more of a legato sound, even if the thumb. It's kind of a trick, I guess. You know, so we're doing a little bit of that, and also helps to kind of, you know, not be too stressed out. But there's still pedal you can use here, right? All right. So, all right. Hope that was good for you. The screen's gone again, or we might leave it for now anyway. So hopefully that helps you, and I'll see you soon for the next page. And yeah, all right, have fun with that. Any questions, hit me up, and I'll see how I can help you out. All right.